Everybody has access to AI now, the same models, the same tools, the same interfaces. But what if the real question isn't what you use, but how you use it? And what if the real question is not what you ask of AI or what it can do for you, but what can you bring to it? This is the value signal. I'm Anna, and in today's episode, I want to explore how AI can actually deepen your creativity, sharpen your clarity, and tune you into your own signal if you let it. This is not a productivity hack. This is a perspective shift. So stay with me. There was a line from a video I saw in a channel about AI that I follow called Superhuman Life that stopped me on my tracks. It said, AI won't take your job, comfort will. We keep asking, will AI replace me? But maybe the better question is, am I clinging to a version of myself that's already outdated? We weren't trained for this, especially my generation. Most of us grew up learning that job titles, resumes, and formal education were the path to value. But that world, as we know it, is gone. The economy doesn't reward potential, it rewards momentum. And AI is not the threat, stagnation is. It doesn't care about your status or your story. AI doesn't. It doesn't love you, it doesn't hate you, it's not emotional, but it can be a mirror. It can be a force multiplier, a fast forward button. And here's something that came to me while I was cooking today, and I want to speak directly to anyone who's over 40. Learning AI over 40 is not just valuable, it is vital. We are the last generation that remembers what life was like before the internet and what it was like to have an analogical life and the lifestyle. We lived before smartphones, before algorithms thinking became second nature. We lived in the analog world. And that gives us a different kind of wisdom, a different kind of experience, one that is rooted in presence, patience, and practicality. I was watching Sliding Doors the other night. It came out in 1998, and it's a cool film for anyone who wants to see something about parallel realities, and that's why I wanted to watch it. And I was struck by how recent and yet how different that world looked. I remember the film because it was a film that I really liked at the time, and I remember talking to my sister about it. And to me, it's still quite modern in the way of thinking and thinking about parallel realities and everything. But I was kind of shocked because there was no smartphones, there were barely any internet. And I realized I was already a young adult back then. And we've witnessed and we've adapted to one of the most dramatic technological shifts in human history. And we're still doing it right now. And because of that, we have not only the ability, but the duty to bring that human memory, that analog wisdom into the age of generative AI. Why? Because the next generations will not have that reference point. They won't remember what it felt like to be offline. And our role isn't to compete with them at all. It is to contribute what they cannot. We can contribute with context, intuition, deep memory, and discernment. That is our signal. So let's not ghost it. It is our responsibility to bring this into what we develop and work with generative AI. Because, like I say, it's not about what you get out of AI or what AI can give you. It's more about what do you bring to it? What context do you bring to it? How do you educate AI to work for you? And in this point, I think we have an edge. That's the core shift I want to talk about today. AI doesn't replace you, but it can reveal you. It shows you your level of clarity, your consistency, your ability to ask good questions, or your level of curiosity. It reflects your signal or your confusion right back to you. There's a prompt I use all the time now when working with AI. Whereas I usually say, instead of answering me, ask me the questions that I actually need to answer. So that alone has helped me unlock entire creative flows, not because the AI knew better, but because I finally stopped trying to outperform the tool and started letting it support me. So what if we stop trying to command AI like a machine and start relating to it like a tuning fork or like a teammate? That's a big difference. When I was launching the value signal, I came across Dan Cole, the creator of Cortex AI, and his YouTube channel, which is brilliant, by the way. And what stood out wasn't just the strategy, but the philosophy. So he spoke of AI not as a shortcut, but as an amplifier. So it's not a crutch, but it's a collaborator. One of his ideas that stuck with me was you don't need more time, you need more clarity. And he invites people to treat prompting like a practice, like journaling, but more dynamic, more revealing. So thanks to his work, I began building what I now call my life-changing prompt library, which is a collection of questions I ask myself or I ask AI to reconnect with my direction. And a few of them are, what am I resisting right now? What outdated belief is still running the show for me? What would I create if I wasn't afraid? And trust me, you can ask AI these questions. You just need a little bit of background because AI is it's not like a crystal ball that can read your mind or your life. But if you give it context, it can really give you a lot to think about. And these weren't just creative tools, they became emotional compasses. And when I started using them, everything began to shift. So the old world we know or we learned about in school rewarded expertise, a specialization, climbing one vertical ladder. But AI, it can now outperform any human specialist in minutes as far as knowledge goes. But what it can't do is synthesize. It struggles with context, nuance, perspective. That's where you come in. Your value isn't in out memorizing AI because that's not possible, but it is connecting things that AI can't, seeing across domains, weaving between disciplines, in turning dots into patterns and patterns into insight. So the future belongs to dot connectors. That line hit me really hard. It's not my line. I didn't write it, but it really inspired me because it's what I've always done without always realizing its value. I've always had multiple interests and tried to connect dots between them. So AI doesn't threaten that ability, it elevates it. If we know how to ask, it can really help you be the dot connector. Another idea that hit me in that video by Superhuman Life, which I will put the link in the description here, as well as the link to Dan Coe's channel, because they inspire me a lot, is they said execution beats theory, judgment beats effort, and obedience decays. So that's huge. Because for many of us, especially women, especially mothers, especially creatives, we've internalized that belief that working harder is what makes us worthy. But, now we have AI who can work 24/7. It never gets tired. It can follow instructions better than any of us. So the real question becomes, what can you see that I can't? What can you decide that it wouldn't know how to weigh? So discernment is the new productivity and presence is the new leverage. In a world where everyone has access to the same tools, the only differentiator is your signal, your values, your aesthetics, your timing, your truth. You don't beat AI by being faster. You beat it by being truer. So how can you outvalue AI? You can do it by having your truth strong, your strong signal. And the beauty of AI is that if you let it, it can reflect that truth back to you, clearer, sharper, and braver than before. So no, AI won't replace your creativity, but it will replace repetition. It will replace comfort. It will replace waiting. And it will replace the version of you that needs permission to start. So if you're still wondering whether AI is for you, here's my invitation. Don't use it to mimic. Use it to multiply. Don't use it to replace your signal. use it to tune into it. And if you want a starting point, I've created a life-changing prompt library, a set of questions designed to spark clarity, creativity, conscious direction. Some of it is designed to actually kick your butt if you're in a comfort zone. And you can download it for free in the link below in the description. And I hope you really enjoy it. And I would be very, very curious about your feedback on it. So this has been the Value Signal. I'm Anna, and this was your reminder. Stop chasing noise and start tuning in. If you think this helped you in any way, do hit that like button. Do hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more coming. And I'll see you in the next video.